Alrighty, guys. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream. I hope everyone is doing good. It's good to have you guys here for another update, my friends. Another update. So we have a bit of severe weather coming in here. I just wanted to hop on here for a little bit and talk about what's going on here in the future. I've been kind of monitoring a little bit of storm activity here over the next couple of days. Plus, next week, we need to look out there for a bit of severe weather and whatnot. So we'll be getting into that momentarily. But what's up, guys? What's up, Hockey? What's up, Brett? What's up, JHH? What's up, Steven? Let's see here. Steven says golf ball hail today done so much damage to the car. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. That's terrible. What's up, Brett? Saying, is this a supercell or what type of system is that? This one here? So this is just a couple of nasty storms going on right now. Right now, these guys in southern Texas are just basically warned here for like, let's go ahead and stop this real quickly. Warned for like 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and anywhere from penny to nickel size hail, which, you know, hail's not really too big down here right now. But anyways, guys, what's up? What's up, Bob? What's up, Roadster? What's up, Kamer? Hope you're doing good. Saying, hey, how have I been? I've been pretty good. Been pretty good. Hopefully you're doing good yourself. But anyways, folks, well, we got ourselves a bit to talk about here. So we're going to start off with the current outlook here. So we still do have these two slight risks out there for today regarding the severe weather potential. So, you know, we're still watching out for a little bit of strong to severe thunderstorm activity here across, like, southern Texas, out here in the deep south here, including the mid-Atlantic here. Actually, we do have a couple of severe warnings that were, you know, kind of rolling through the Virginia area here. It looks like Richmond here is essentially getting a pretty strong storm, actually, looks like. Yeah, 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. But anyway, so yeah, severe weather was going to continue on for a little bit tonight. We do actually have a tornado risk here. They did add a 2% chance up into some regions out there by Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, North and South Carolina here at that 2%. So, I mean, there is a little bit of a chance for a couple of isolated tornadoes, but, you know, in terms of generally speaking, it's a relatively low-end concern today, so that's certainly good news. Now, for damaging winds, we do have a pretty big 15% risk area here across the yellow. You know, the yellow areas here, that level 2 threat. And then, of course, we have ourselves the 5% chance, which is a level 1, pretty much low-end concern. Then lastly, we actually do have a significant hail concern. Although right now, like I said, on the warnings currently, you know, this hail is sub-severe, currently not severe or anything like that for hail anyways. These storms that are rolling through right now in South Texas are mostly just a concern for damaging winds, essentially. But given the outlook here, we do still have that significant risk out there for hail, potential for hail, you know, 2 inches in diameter and larger overall. So, yeah, but right now, like I said, it is pretty calm. Now, hopping over to tomorrow, we do have a marginal risk here for tomorrow across portions of Florida, portions of, like, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, portions of Georgia, going into the Carolinas and southeastern Virginia here. Tornado-wise, we're not expecting any tornadic activity as of now, so that's certainly some good news. As of right now, no tornadic activity is expected tomorrow. We do have ourselves a little bit of a damaging wind concern here at this 5% risk area here across the region. You know, we're going to see potential for maybe some gusty winds upwards of 60, at worst case scenario, maybe up to 70 miles an hour, but, you know, it's pretty unlikely. But yeah, pretty low end chance for damaging winds. And in hail, kind of the same thing here. We do have a 5% risk overall. Then lastly, we work our way into the day after tomorrow here. We actually do have ourselves another level 1 threat. It's actually a pretty calm day here. This is going to be, what, Saturday? So for Saturday, we do have a little risk for severe weather up in northern Florida and a little bit of southern Georgia here that we'll look out for overall. Let's see here. Steven says, Andrew, can I tag you in a couple of photos on Twitter so you can see the hailstorm we had? Yeah, of course. Yeah, feel free to. You have the tag. We have, it's NWW116_WX. That is our Twitter handle if you want to send them there. What's up, K-Jack? Saying hi, Andrew and everyone. What's up? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Court? But anyways, but yeah, so we'll just, you know, keep it out there for a little bit of gusty winds and some hail and stuff today, like I mentioned, you know, a little bit of a concern for severe weather. Now, so like I was mentioning here, and the reason I wanted to really go live tonight was to discuss what we have been looking at here yesterday. If you guys were here for yesterday's stream, we were talking about sometime next week, for a little bit of severe concern because, the models have been pretty consistent on, talking about a system here developing here. Let's go ahead and actually bring up the, actually, let's get rid of this here for now. So this is the instability for storm activity. You can see as we approach our way into next week, this is next Wednesday, you can see we really start to build in a pretty good amount of fuel for storms. I mean, even working its way through the plains, potentially, Ohio Valley. This is just the fuel for thunderstorm activity and whatnot. But, I mean, you can see that we, Wednesday, Thursday, we definitely do build in enough fuel for storm activity to occur. Working our way into Friday here, you can see a lot of instability builds its way in. Now, I do know this is a couple of days out, of course, and, between now and then, there is a possibility that, a lot of things will change between now and then. But overall, generally speaking, we do have ourselves, like I said, a pretty decent amount of instability that works its way in for mid to late next week. Once again, still some time for changes and whatnot, but it does look like the environments here will be certainly, unstable for potential storm activity. Now, another thing I want to look at here real quickly is the wind shear here, looking at that mid-level jet stream. So you can kind of see we do have this big trough that works its way down here across, the south Pacific Southwest here out there by California. You can see this big trough that comes through here for early next week. Now, this is going to be working its way here to the east overall, which will be amplifying the wind shear. There's winds in the upper atmosphere across, the central plains, the Midwest and whatnot here. So given that, that will increase, the wind shear and whatnot, for those storms. Let's go ahead and hop back. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to overlay the instability on this here too. So let's go ahead and add a layer here. We're going to add up our mixed layer cape here. Let's go ahead and do that real quickly. So mixed layer cape. We're going to go ahead and overlay that. There you go. So now you can kind of see the instability and stuff. But yeah, you can see we definitely do have, pretty good amount of instability building into the region here. And definitely some pretty decent wind shear. Like I mentioned, it's still a little early to be exact. Obviously, take in, this 100% for what it is. It's still a little bit early for that, considering that, yeah, we are still, several days out here. But generally speaking, we definitely should be monitoring the weather for mid to late next week because, I mean, like I mentioned here, we do have that trough coming in here. It's going to be amplifying the wind shear, and like I said, a lot of that instability will start to build into the region here. A lot of that moisture coming up here. So we'll definitely be here to help keep you guys weather aware. Like I said, we'll keep you guys updated. Between now and then, of course, we'll make sure to get you guys updated. Let's see. Ronaldo says, will Iowa be hit by this next upcoming storm? Thanks. Yeah, no problem. So, looking back over here, so looking at the instability and whatnot here for kind of mid next week, you can kind of see, I mean, Iowa could get in on some of the action here. Like I said, this is just a fuel for storms. It doesn't necessarily, mean that it will be severe. Just by looking at instability alone, I should say. But given the GFS here, it does look like we do build in some instability, some, fuel for these storms, potentially severe storms, across the region here for mid to late next week. Now, like I mentioned, the specifics is still a little early to be for sure, to take this, super seriously right now. But it does look possible that we could get, enough fuel, enough moisture and everything like that up here to potentially allow for some storms to occur. One thing I do want to do is I do want to pull up the Euro here. So let's actually bring up the ECMWF here. Let's see where Euro's at here. Overall, it's obviously really good to compare models. It's never really good to just look at one model. But what you can see here, let's hop to 12 Zulu here because that one's that's the short run. But essentially what we were seeing here is not just the GFS, but also the Euro here as well. Showing that instability and whatnot. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get that to hopefully load. If it'll load, that'd be pretty nice. Here, let's try going back to 18 Zulu real quickly. For some reason, 12 Zulu was not wanting to work. Anyways, but yeah, so according to, even the latest HRRR, you can see, the latest Euro, you can see that here for Wednesday, we do have still a pretty good amount of instability building into the plains here. Like the GFS was suggesting. So there is a little bit of agreement there. and showing, a pretty good amount of instability or fuel for storms working its way into the Central Plains and the Midwest here for kind of mid to later next week. And that's actually been pretty consistent too, since yesterday overall. So, that's still what the models are suggesting. So that is a good sign. That is, a good sign overall. What's up, WWT? It's been a minute since I was back here. Yeah, hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Tennessee is going to get hit. So Tennessee here for the next couple of days, we're not expecting any severe weather. Today we did have that one slight risk here for eastern Tennessee overall. Let's go and hop on back real quick. But pretty much, I mean, if we hop over here to satellite or radar view, looking at radar, we do have a couple of storms going through like Tennessee right now, but really nothing severe going on at the moment. But given this upcoming system, though, we'll just have to see how things go. It's still, once again, a little too early for the specifics, but just the trend is kind of what we're looking at right now. That's really what we're focusing on. We're not necessarily focusing on the exact parameters that the models are given, but more of the fact that like I mentioned, the trend essentially. Let's see here. Sewing says someone is putting Oklahoma and Texas in the red Thursday through Sunday. No, next Thursday? Yeah, that can't be like today, Thursday, right? I mean, that's, like I mentioned, you know me, guys. I don't like to look out too far unless there's, like, some serious agreement. And, I mean, like, given the way that the models have been, I mean, yeah, it definitely looks like we're going to be building in some instability and fuel for these storms here. Let's try to run the 12 Zulu again. Hopefully it'll actually run. I don't think, there we go. Yeah, 12 Zulu for some reason does not like to load. But anyways, here's the 0 Zulu from last night. It's a little bit of an outdated model run, but still. But you can see, I mean, yeah, kind of the same thing what we were talking about. We build in a lot of that fuel for these storms here. Definitely a pretty good amount of instability working its way through not only the Central Plains, but the Midwest and, potentially even like the Ohio Valley. So, but over the next couple of days, you can kind of see the instability is pretty minimum. So there's really not going to be, too much of a big concern for the next couple of days, but it's kind of the extended range that we need to look out there for. Steven says, okay, you've been tagged in a video and a photo. Feel free to share them here if you'd like. I don't have my Twitter logged in right now on this computer, but I'll look at it whenever I'm done streaming, and I'll like it and stuff. So, let's see. Have I seen the hurricane season impact predictions for 2025? It's kind of scary for the dates. What, from the Hurricane Center? Did they actually release that yet? Now, I have not seen the official forecast. Actually, I've been working on my own hurricane season forecast here over the last couple of days. It's hopefully I'll get that out soon. Definitely plan to get that out soon for you guys. It's close. It's close, man. We're getting real close here. I mean, we are less than a month away. June 1st is when hurricane season starts. So we're getting there. Anyways, folks, so like I mentioned, that's kind of what I just wanted to talk about here a little bit. So let's hop on back over here to the current side of things. So right now we do have a bit of severe weather going on, like we mentioned. So just a little bit of a heads up out here towards like the Mid-Atlantic and southern Texas. We do have a bit of severe thunderstorm activity going on here overall, and generally speaking, this is mostly like low end severe. Potential here. I mean, this is 60 mile an hour winds are pretty strong. This was actually for 70 here. Whoa, 90? What? Look at that. 90 mile an hour winds have been observed. Goodness, dude. What did that? Was it a mesonet or something that recorded that? Winds observed from the KALI of winds near 90 miles an hour. Wow, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, that storm there, you can see that bow. It has a bow echo to it. It's really definitely much of a wind producer. Let's pull up our velocity here. Let's take a look at that. Wow. goodness. Look at that. Holy cow, dude. Those are some really strong velocities on that storm there. Yeah, and it looks like it really just, just really started kicking up. That is crazy. That is actually crazy. Let's see here. Rife says Yazoo. What about Yazoo? You're in a severe thunderstorm watch for a while, but I'm Bristol, Tennessee. Yeah, things have calmed down a lot in Tennessee. Right now, there isn't really a whole lot going on in Tennessee currently. No severe warnings currently, but we still do have a little bit of storm activity rolling through. Through like eastern Tennessee and whatnot. I think a lot of the activity for more of like the western side of Tennessee and central side is pretty much subsided at this point. Nasty bow for sure. Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man. That is a pretty ugly storm. I wish we let's see here. I wish there was a way I could pull up another mesonet. Let's see here. I want to try something here. So there is a set of... No, not this. Hold on. I want to pull up to see if we can find a... what you call it? Why is this? I'm trying to pull up some local weather stations here. If not, it's alright. I'm just trying to... Okay. Yeah. It looks like I can't find that. But yeah, there was this site I used to use that would have just a bunch of local weather stations that I could look at. Let's see. Iguana says, do I think that the severe weather threat is dying down? For today, yes. It has definitely died down quite a bit. But it's not over yet, as you can kind of tell. We still do have a little bit of severe weather going on up in like Virginia. You can see Richmond right now is under a warning here. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Then we have North Carolina here. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We got Georgia. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Yeah, I can't believe that, man. 90-mile-an-hour winds. That is crazy. What's up, Tanya? Hope you're doing good. Saying I have to go to Tallahassee, Florida this weekend. I can't even English. What day do I think will be the worst? Saturday or Sunday? This weekend it should be pretty easy to forecast. As of right now, I don't think SPC has you in for any. Here, let's see here. Let me go pull this up real quickly. So Saturday. Okay, yeah, so Saturday we do have a level 1 threat up across, like, northern Florida. But since you said you're going to Tallahassee, I don't think, Tallahassee's right on the edge of that level 1 threat there for day after tomorrow. So that'll be for Saturday. Sunday, as of right now, is clear. Yeah, SPC does not have anything going on for Sunday. Predictability as of right now is too low. So, to be honest with you, here, let's take a look at the models. I'll do a little bit of a dive into this for you real quickly. So let's take a look at I think the NAM should be able to reach out this far. Okay, so we work our way down in time, go through Friday and Saturday. And a Sunday. You can see this. So this is the fuel, by the way. The fuel for storms. This is the instability. You can kind of see, though, over the next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of fuel across the way. Yeah, NAM just barely makes it to it. Let's look at the GFS here. To be honest with you, I think Sunday would probably be a little bit better to go. But, either or. Like we mentioned, it's nothing significant really. Even for Saturday, it's just a level 1 threat that's mostly east of you. But given Tallahassee, there is that level 1 still in effect there. But I mean, either or, to be honest with you. Let's see here. What is Yazoo looking like for next week? I'm assuming that's Mississippi, right? Let's see, isn't Yazoo somewhere up in here? Yazoo, there we go. So given extended range here, like I said, it's a little too early to take things specifically here. Let's see here. Yeah, for next week, it still is, like I said, a little bit too early to be for sure. But given the fact, like I said, that we do have that low rolling through, the wind shear should be theoretically weaker the further south you go, because that system's going to be positioned more up here on the Central Plains, working its way up, to the northeast. Now, I do believe, once again, given the instability, you can't just go off of instability alone. But, I mean, there could be definitely some storm activity for next week at some point. But to be quite fair with you, I'm not thinking anything significant as of now. For you, anyways. Let's see here. WWT says, so how is North Carolina going to be doing for the next couple of days, severe weather? So tomorrow, North Carolina actually does have a level 1 threat for severe weather. So the SPC does have central eastern North Carolina here in the level 1 threat for severe weather, which that does not give a tornado concern. So tornadoes tomorrow. We're not expecting any tornadic activity tomorrow, which is good. However, there could be a little bit of gusty winds and maybe a little bit of hail. Just some marginalized wind gusts, potential for gusty winds up to like 60 miles an hour, and maybe some hail between 1 to 2 inches in diameter, can't be ruled out. I mean, even given the probability, it's pretty low, 5% chance, for both, the hail and the wind risk out there. So, I mean, the odds, of you getting that's pretty darn low. What's up, Scott? Saying hi, Andrew, and everyone else watching, from Missouri. 60 miles south of Joplin. What's up, man? Hope you're doing good, Scott. Good to have you here. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, I mean, tomorrow, like I said, we'll keep an eye out there for a little bit of storm activity, but tomorrow shouldn't be as significant as today kind of was. Just given the overall risk, we have a level 1 threat just across the deep south here to Florida. Florida is actually, like I said, we're finally getting out of our rainy season, or getting into our rainy season, I should say, which is super nice. Super nice. Let's see here. My friend is worried about severe weather because last time State got a tornado watch, he passed it. Oh, that's not good. Well, in terms of North Carolina, there's no tornado concern. I can tell you that. But the threat for severe weather is very low. Let's see here. Guana says, I'm kind of confused. Some meteorologists are showing a lack of rain and storms tomorrow, yet there is a marginal risk. Is that a morning threat? What, for, where'd you say? Is that for the southeast tomorrow? For these regions? So, I mean, there is a lot of moisture. Let's actually hop back to the models here. There's a lot of moisture and instability that does build into the region. Let's go ahead and bring you guys over here. We're going to actually pull up the HRRR, since we're well within range of short-range models here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's bring up HRRR. Roadster, we sure do. It's been so dry, dude. I swear I complain about that every stream. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and load up the 0 Zulu. So you can see all. So this is all the instability. Like I said, this is all the fuel for storms, right? So tomorrow, up across the south, I mean, you can see that there is lingering instability that does build in to the south here. So, obviously there is going to be that potential for storms, given the energy available. Also looking at our dew points here, the moisture in the atmosphere, typically, or surface level, typically you want those dew points in the 60s and 70s. I mean, you can kind of see here for tomorrow, our dew points are going to be well within the threshold. So, definitely, the moisture's not a concern. The instability is not really much of a concern. Let's go and bring up the radar here. Let's see, we'll bring up the future radar overall. So, I mean, yeah, you can see, like I mentioned, it's a marginal risk here. Remember that. It's a level 1 threat. You know, the odds are not super, super high tomorrow. But, you know, still with that being said, I mean, you can see here for later tomorrow, we definitely do get some convection going on, according to the latest 0 Zulu HRRR, up across, you know, North South Carolina, I mean, possibly up into the mid-Atlantic here, too. A lot of rain in the south here, still going on. But, yeah, I mean, it's there. It's there, man. But, you know, once again, the threat is fairly low. Let's actually grab I'm going to grab a sounding up across, like, central South Carolina here. Let's just see kind of what we're looking at. Let's see here. Glinda says, will Johnson City, Tennessee see anything soon? Today was scary. So Tennessee's threat for the next 2 days is we're not expecting anything really going on here. So what I can do is bring you back over here real quickly. Here, let's go ahead and do this real quick. So yeah, tomorrow you're in a thunderstorm risk, which you're right on the edge of it. Nothing severe expected for tomorrow. The day after tomorrow too, it's clear. So for Saturday you're good. Yeah, today was definitely a little bit different. I mean, given the that we are in that risk area here for today. But no, you're good. You're good. Today was the only day that you're gonna really see anything. Anyways, let's hop back to that sounding real quickly. So yeah, so there is a decent amount of instability here. You know, good moisture on our surface. Like I mentioned, you know, no curvature in our photographs, or you know, lower level winds are fairly weak, so that's going to rule out any tornadic concern. Thankfully, yeah, tornadoes will not be a problem tomorrow. The only concern tomorrow that there's going to be is potential for damaging winds. I mean, our downdraft energy is pretty high. You know, upper 900 joules per kilogram. That's pretty up there. So the downdraft energy is pretty strong. So that could support some gusty winds. I mean, yeah, between hail and damaging winds and a sounding like this is possible, for sure. But anyways, but yeah, once again, no tornado concern, thankfully. There's a large thunderstorm here in North Carolina. Right now, there's no active warnings for North Carolina currently. We have one up in Virginia. We have one up in Georgia. A lot of them are in down here. Down in southern Texas here. Yeah, that one's still 90 miles an hour. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, the velocity on that storm was actually pretty nuts. Look at that, dude. That is incredible. Let's see, what is that showing? That's showing, like, what are we talking? 35-ish meters per second. Remember, this is close to the radar, too. This is not far from the radar. Let me check real quickly. Let's see, 35 meters per second, miles per hour. That is about 80 miles an hour. Remember, the station out here actually reported 90, nearly 90. Let's see. Where will the first hurricane go? There's no way of knowing where the first hurricane's going to go. I mean, if there was, then we'd be telling you now. That way we could help out. But, they're monitoring the weather. I mean, going anything past a week is pretty hard to do. And models just don't really stack up to it. So, yeah, look at anything more than, I mean, you guys know me. I don't like looking really more than 5 days. But unless there's some serious agreement, like the reason that we're, talking about this upcoming one, we were talking about it earlier, because the models, they've been consistent. GFS and GFS and Euro have been pretty consistent with a lot of instability building in to the country. So, anyways, what's up, Sonya? Hope you're doing good. Let's see. Yeah, that storm is tracking towards Corpus Christi here. Hopefully it'll die down before then. I mean, it's a pretty gnarly bow. It is a pretty gnarly bow. I mean, look at that. Still velocities are very strong. Wow. Let's see. Impressive hail for Florida this week. What are you talking about, Roadster? See, I think the hail threat does go into Florida. Yeah, it does. Go down in South Florida. Tomorrow we do have that level 1 threat for Florida, which is I'm very happy for. I'm very thankful for it because we need the rain, not the hail. We don't need that, but it's been dead. It's been dead. Else is what about Jacksonville? So Jacksonville's in that level 1 tomorrow. Yeah, so we should definitely keep an eye out there for the weather tomorrow. Good news, like I mentioned, no tornado threat. You know, the wind shear just doesn't support it. You know, the lower level wind shear is very weak, and will not support any tornadic activity. However, there is going to be the chance for some gusty winds and hail. Both of that's a 5%. 5%. So, yeah, Jacksonville, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to certainly keep an eye on the weather tomorrow. Thankfully, it's nothing significant, really. It's nothing super, super wild tomorrow. But, these areas in the dark green, I know it's really hard to see the state borders. But, these areas in the dark green here, this is representing that level 1 threat for severe weather tomorrow. And then for day 3 on Saturday, we have another little risk out there by Jacksonville. So, actually, yeah, both tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, we should certainly be weather aware. But anyways, yeah. So like I mentioned, nothing super crazy over the next couple of days, the next like 3 days. But once again, activity is starting to really kind of show itself for mid to late next week. Once again, the main models, Euro, GFS, been continuously supporting good amounts of instability and moisture building into the deep country, which really could lead to some storm activity. Let's see. Hopefully this will help Florida more than harm it. This is the worst drought in decades over there. Yeah, it's been bad. I mean, we have been in our dry season. Florida has its rainy season, which starts about now. Usually April, May is kind of when things should start to get more moisture into the region. But yeah, it should be good. I mean, the next couple of days up in Florida, it's actually going to be pretty good. HRRR, you can see the 0 Zulu extended range. I mean, we go into tomorrow here, you can see, some storms developing here, likely sea breeze initiated storms, likely across Florida, and then of course we get more the following day after potentially. I mean, yeah, we're getting it. And the reason why, actually, a part of it is we have this area of low pressure kind of stalling in the deep south out there, kind of by the Gulf. And this is essentially bringing in a lot of moisture and a lot of instability. If I bring up our mid-level wind shear, I can actually show you exactly that, which you can kind of see this low that's right in here. Let's actually turn off the fill here. We'll bring up the NAM. Yeah, it goes a little further down in time. But yeah, you can kind of see this low here. And it just kind of sits. There you go. You can really see it there. You just see it just kind of sits in the south, And so basically that's just ramping up a lot of moisture, a lot of instability, bringing in those warmer, lower levels and all that stuff, which, is getting that activity to finally start to initiate. So I'm thankful for it. Let's see. No, we do not have any tornadoes. So tomorrow's threat we have, like we mentioned, that little level 1. It's not really too little, but it's low end threat for severe weather. No tornadoes though, because once again the wind shear doesn't really support it. All right, Bella. Yeah, let's see where you're at. You're up in Mississippi. Okay, so you today. Oops. Whoa, that's weird. Here, let's bring it back over here. 1 second. Okay, so yeah, you do the marginal today, but today's pretty much over with overall. Um, let's see here. So we do have general thunderstorm risk tomorrow. We can't rule out a thunderstorm or two, but honestly, nothing big. Yeah. So next 3 days, you're good. You're good. Let's see here. Is that trough or is that low negatively tilted? It's just shortwave. It's just a big stalling shortwave trough. It's not a long wave. Florida rainy season's about to start. Yeah, for real. I'm very thankful. Very thankful. Let me actually look at the drought monitor. I'm actually curious to see. Actually, does this page have it? Oh, it does. No need to. Yeah, look at Florida, dude. It's so bad, man. It's so bad. So the areas in the red here is an extreme drought. And then the orange is a severe drought, moderate drought in the tan, and then a abnormally dry in the yellow. But yeah, I mean, look at this. Central southern Florida is like severely dry. And now you can kind of see why I've been, complaining about it, how dry it's been. Yeah, Southwest is, that's typical. Central Plains is pretty dry too. But yeah, hopefully that'll change soon. I think it will. I think CPC even has. Here, let's pull up the. Sorry, CFS, not CPC. Here, let's bring up the CFS model here real quickly. So we're gonna look at the moisture. Here we go. Precipitation anomaly. So yeah, look at this. So for the next week, you can see that the south is really highlighted because, like I mentioned, with that what is it? That trough there, or that low, essentially, is just ramping a bunch of moisture in the south, which is good. Then, of course, going into like kind of later month, you can see that once again it looks like CFS suggests more dry conditions and a bit more precipitation across the Midwest. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, CFS does show it kind of being a little dry, but it does look like we are in a little bit of a spell of some, a little bit of a spell for some precipitation and stuff. So that's good. That's good at least. Maybe it's a little temporary relief. Essentially, iguana. Yeah. We need water, essentially. Pinkies up. Yeah, it's been rough. Anyways, folks, but yeah, so that's pretty much what we're dealing with here. Overall, we'll just have to keep an eye on the weather. Once again, the next 2 days, nothing really big. Little marginal tomorrow in the south. Saturday, even smaller marginal risk there for like northern Florida. But yeah, once again, nothing big. But just keep your eyes peeled for next week. I mean, it's too early to take the specifics right now because it still is a couple of days out, of course. But given trends, Euro, GFS, there has been a lot of talk of a pretty good amount of moisture and instability building into the plains again in the Midwest, possibly the Ohio Valley, which could allow for storms to occur. We'll just have to see. But you guys know we'll keep you updated. Anyways, but all right, everybody. Well, I'm probably gonna wrap it up now. Just gonna do a quick little live stream here. I appreciate y'all for joining, and if you guys could leave a like, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That'd be greatly appreciated. Of course, tomorrow we're not gonna need any coverage. It's marginal, pretty low in threat. No tornadoes either. So just a little bit of a gusty wind, a little bit of a hail threat. So no coverage tomorrow. Probably just another update like we did today. What's up, Renita? Hope you're doing good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, besides tomorrow, let's see here. Let's hop back to the categorical real quickly. Besides tomorrow with that level 1 risk up across the deep south here overall, that is what we'll look out for. But yeah, once again, no tornadoes, a little bit of gusty winds, you know, a little bit of hail possibly, but that's that. And then once again for Saturday, northern Florida, southern Georgia, we have a little bit of a severe weather risk here as of right now. What's up, Renita? Saying hi, Andrew. Wait a minute. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, no problem, Sonia. You're welcome. Good night, Angela. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Anyways, Renita, you want me to look at your area? Oh, man, I can't even English. I'll be more than happy. So tomorrow, Renita, I will go ahead and tell you, you have a level 1 threat up here in the Macon area. So just a heads up towards you, Renita. A little bit of a concern for some storms. You know, we have the potential out there for you know, an isolated severe storm or two. You know, nothing really big. Tornadoes, not a concern tomorrow. Not a concern. Damaging winds, we do have a 5% chance, Renita, for, you know, some gusty wind potential. And then lastly, we do have a 5% chance out there for hail. So, you know, we could see possibly some storms gusting upwards to, you know, 60 miles an hour, you know, within some of the storms here, which, you know, it's pretty unlikely. But, and also maybe some hail as well. Thank you, Renita, for the 5. I appreciate it. Say, am I good to go to sleep tonight? So yeah, we did have that risk out there today as well. Hop into radar. Let's go ahead and load up our reflectivity here real quickly. So there's really not a lot going on right now. There's some, what is that? Alpha boundaries. Oh yeah, look at that. It's probably about to get a little gusty. You can see this little outflow boundary here that's coming through. See that? A little boundary kind of working towards you. So it'll probably get a little gusty here within the next little bit. There still is going to be the shot for maybe a couple of storms and showers tonight. It is certainly possible. But honestly, the severe concern is pretty much over with. I mean, yeah, we have some storms that's over here firing off, but these aren't even severe. The ones that are. Let me pull up HRRR for you real quickly. The models, just to look at the future radar. See what HRRR suggests here. Let's see here. Radar. Future radar. Let's go to 01 UTC. This is the latest run we have. So you can see you right here, Renita. So over the next little bit, yeah, I mean, you can see that there is some storms within the area over the next, you know, couple of hours here, but that does kind of diminish overnight. Anyways, but yeah, so, you know, just a little shot for some storms, but yeah, nothing I'd really worry about. It might get a little windy here in a minute, though. Like I said, as that little outflow boundary or that gust front kind of rolls through, they tend to make things a little windy temporarily. Yeah, no problem, Renita. I appreciate your support as well. Thank you for the 5. But all right, everybody. Well, we're gonna roll off here for now. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be back live for you guys. We'll do another stream tomorrow night for y'all, just to keep you guys in the loop of everything. I will go live actually on my gaming channel if you guys are interested in that at all. I'll be doing some ghost hunting if you guys want to check that out. I'll go ahead and actually post the my gaming channel in the chat here. So hold on one second. If you guys want to check that out, I'll be going live here probably in about an hour or so for some more games here. Let's see real quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up. Hold on one second. It'll load. There we go. Okay, so let me hop over to the chat. I'm actually gonna chat with my channel. So there you go. Hopefully that'll work. Maybe. Oh, never mind. It won't let me do it on that one. Let's just do it on my main channel here. But yeah, we'll be doing some ghost hunting here in a minute. We'll be going live at 12 if you guys want to hangout. There you go. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining. Once again, thank you guys. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. Once again, we'll catch y'all tomorrow on this channel here. And, alrighty. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for joining, and we'll see you guys in the next one. All right, see you later, guys. Y'all take care.